so long. We've been here, we've been trying to break.
Hi there, and welcome to another edition, or should I say the first edition of the Springboard Hangout. The Springboard Hangout is your fun, educative program that looks at issues that affect us, and then we find how we, the youth, we can find our way through. You know, and during the last year, we had different sessions. We talked about the Woman 360. We looked at entrepreneurship, the new level of entrepreneurship. We also had industry experts on women on the go, the practical way, and then we looked at workplace productivity. I'm sure you remember the edition that we had with waakye, where we're looking at waakye, and we didn't really eat the waakye, but we kind of looked at how teamwork works. Yes, so that was Springboard 2021, Springboard Hangout 2021. By the grace of God, we have crossed over to 2022. And what does 2022 have for us? This year, we are starting with financial planning and investment, and we are looking at everything in between. Today, I have this fantastic young gentleman. When we talk about people who are gurus, that's the person. He has this YouTube page that have people looking at how they can invest and all kinds of stuff. And I tell you, when you hear what he has for us today, you say, Springboard for more dear, we'll try. And I agree, we do try. So today we are looking at financial planning, especially for we the young people. Financial literacy must be something that we all have and we all use in every part of our lives. So if you are watching today, please don't go anywhere. And also, please call someone to be on the watch with you. And for those who would watch on Sunday, I know you would really, really benefit. At this moment, I'm going for a quick break. When I return, we will bring Desmond into the studio and we'll learn all about Sika, because Sika does so much in our lives. Don't go anywhere.
He's a turnaround. Then I'm in fana, Yehovah say, Woniao, Yemamita.
Raman Senina
Meshiranidi Medina dancing Vonia Yemameda
Meman in Quanchi Kuru so Nama boniti Achama sena
Meshirani ding na medina dansi Bonia oh yeah mameda
Then I'm in fana, Yehovah Wonia Then I'm in function and
Get me York's Rent a Car. I need a car in 15 minutes. Hi, I'm Jake Morris, and I travel globally. But when I'm in Ghana, York's Rent a Car is my reliable choice for safety and comfort on the road. York's Rent a Car provides comprehensive logistics services to mainly blue chip companies as well as individual clients.
At the time, we needed a car rental service, and York's fitted in very well per our standards.
Their services is top-notch. Drivers are on time.
It was beautiful to see them behind the wheels. And anytime they pick up a guest, the guests were very, very happy.
Already? Excellent. York's Rent a Car provides services and expertise that include meet and greet services at the airport, car rental, driver personal outsourcing, and vehicle detailing. What's the problem? It's you. I told you. York's Rent a Car delivers world-class service to its customers, having their highest safety and comfort in mind. So watch you. Two of us are open for him. York's Rent a Car runs 24/7 operations where customers can make car reservations and inquiries of our services online and also call our hotline.
Welcome back to Springboard Hangout. You know, I missed you guys so much. I couldn't wait for February to start so that we're back in studio with you and we are having such a wonderful conversation. So tell me, how did you enjoy your Christmas? Could you please share something with me? Because me, I had wanted to go somewhere and my people said they were not going with me. So I had to stay, you know, somewhere. I wanted to go to the north or somewhere, but so I had to stay in Accra like that. So please, maybe you were fortunate enough, let me know. Anyway, so we are back in studio and we are with Mr. Desmond Bredu. He is the head of client services at Stanbic Investment Management Services. And when we talk about investment, this is somebody who is chartered at ACCA level. He's got a degree in accounting. You know, it'd be like the guy, he boiled himself in money. Why, okay, I'll find out for him, but why he like money like that? And then, as if that's were not enough, when he was doing his ACCA, globally, he won 3 awards, the first Ghanaian to do so. Charlie, why you do that?
God is good. That's the first bit, but I mean, it's just like one of my goals to like make a mark in wherever I find myself. So I was like, we can do this. So let's do this. So yeah, that's the overriding principle. Like we have to achieve something. And so that's it. You missed one about 4 actually.
It's 4?
The last one was the overall later on.
Really? Overall, so I mean, so it's like, you know,
overall in Ghana.
Overall in Ghana, yes. Okay, yes. But then worldwide, you got 3. What were the awards in? So
it was in audit and advanced audit, and one was in I think governance. I've forgotten the whole course thing, but yeah, I was 15th.
And then there was ethics.
Yes, governance and ethics. I was 15th. I was 10th, and when I was second in the world in advanced audit. Yes.
See what I'm talking about? The guy is good. So yes, Desmond. So let me find out. Yeah. I know that sometimes entrepreneurs find solutions because they see a need, or maybe they are experiencing some hardship themselves. So they say, this thing I can do it, and therefore let me do it. Yeah. But were you broke? That's why you went into investment or into financial planning. Why did you start in financial planning?
So I think the whole idea is, okay, I mean, I went to University of Ghana, and in my 4 years in Legon, I wasn't introduced to anything investment until I organized a program about investment and financial literacy. So thankfully, even after that, I was fortunate to work in an investment firm. So I was like, okay, it's something that really lacks amongst the youth. So it's something that it's, okay, why don't we preach the message to many people that, okay, it's something that's possible. You don't have to wait till you are out of school making the big bucks before you start thinking of investment. Once you are NSS person, you start thinking about investment. Once you are even a student, start thinking about investment. So that's the whole idea, whole concept. As for the broke bit, yes, at a point in the university, I mean, I made some poor decisions because I realized that I wasn't even thinking about the future. Everything was, can I spend now? What can I do? It's about the now. So looking back, I was like, okay, I made some really poor decisions. And you wouldn't know, but you only see this on hindsight, okay? Like reflecting, yeah, I did this thing. So if I have this experience, why don't I share this with other people to be able to talk to them, okay, you can make a difference in your financial life. So that's the whole beginning of my investment and financial planning journey, yeah.
Excellent. So we are going to hear the gospel of financial planning today. So let's start from the basics, because I always say that if I know the kind of ball I'm playing, I know that I'm not playing football, but I'm playing maybe hockey or something. And hockey was one of the games that I loved most. I mean, actually, I was actually a captain when we were in school of the Legon hockey team, female hockey team. Yeah, nice. I was the captain at one time. Anyway, so doing that, what is financial planning?
So again, just before I come to that, I love my football. So
you love your football. Unfortunately, he's an unfortunate Chelsea fan. Yeah, you can go ahead.
We'll come to that discussion later on. But yes, when we speak about financial planning, it's basically everything concerning your money and how you achieve your money goals. So when it comes to financial planning, we just have 3 key questions in mind. Where are you? Where do you want to get to? And how do you plan on getting there? So, okay, how do I achieve my money goals? And that's all that financial planning is about. I mean, it has many facets like, okay, investment, like budgeting, but all of the whole thing or the whole principle is how do I achieve my goals that I have for myself, maybe for my family as well. And that's all financial planning is about. But again, like I mentioned, there's many subsets, like layers to that.
I hope that we would be able to bring that to bear as we go along. So then, where are you? Where do you want to go? And how you plan on getting there? So that is basically financial planning, right? Yes. So this is in your finances.
Yes.
So then, if I am there and I fail to ask myself these questions, what happens after all? I will live.
So that's the first mistake, that if you fail to plan, I'm sure you say you plan to fail.
Something like that.
You know, there's this funny video going on, is, I won't think of my future will think of itself, sort of thing. But usually if you live that kind of life, sometimes most often than not, the future really plays really hard to get. So for me, the best thing is, okay, how do I not plan to fail?
Okay.
And that's what financial planning is all about. Okay, I mean, we all know that there are circumstances that you can't control, really. But the most important bit is, which part of the conversation can I control? And that's why financial planning is super important. Another thing that I probably speak on is, if you don't plan your money, for instance, you might end up doing some impulse buying. For example, you don't have any goals at all. Be like, okay, I have 1,000 CDs. Let me get this watch here and eat it. I choose watch it because you mentioned in the introduction. So let me get this watch to eat. In fact, let me just get this iPad. Let me just get this phone. Maybe at that point in time, those are not the things you need. But because you don't have any money goals, for instance, anything that just goes by, your friend comes to Charlie, today's Friday, Moku step out. Then you just jump in. But if you had, for example, those kind of goals, you'd be able to know, okay, at this point in time, this is not what I need for myself. Another reason, if you don't plan, is that for many people, just look around us. Again, I can use, because I grew up in Nsawam, and I have folks of 50, 60, 70 still having to work. Most of them couldn't or didn't plan their retirement properly. For me, I feel that at a point in time, you can't work. So as a young person, you need to have that kind of realization that means I need to start planning from today. That maybe at 50, at 60, I need to stop working. And if you look around us, people having to, at 60, wake up in the morning, go to Accra to go and buy stuff and come and sell. I'm not sure if us young people want the same kind of lifestyle. So it's important that we start planning our retirement from the get-go.
So what I hear from you is that it's beneficial to plan your. What are some of the benefits?
I mean, let's start from the basics, right? And I spoke about the impulse buying bit. Now, if you have money goals, right, or you have financial plan, you're able to know that, okay, at this point, what are my needs? What are my wants? You get it. So that is the very critical thing. to be able to know what your goals are and prioritize the goals. So for example, if your friend comes and say that, oh, Charlie, today be Friday, or let's step out, I'll be like, oh, at this point, my budget is restricting me to where I can go. So instead of going to this high-end place, let's look at an alternative for us. Another thing is, if you don't have any plan, let's say, for example, you set out on a journey, you're going to Kumasi. In fact, you don't even know where you're going to. You're like, let me just sit in a car. And it's not the best of things. You need to have the end in goals, in mind. So let's say, where do I want to get to? So am I on the right track? So how can I make improvement? If, for example, I know that, okay, I have to get, say, 1,000 cedis in my investment account end of year. That's my financial plan, for instance. I'm then able to monitor and track whether I'm making progress.
Yeah.
Okay, I said that every month I'll put aside 10 cedis or I'll spend 5 cedis. Am I on the right track? So monitoring and tracking those kind of expenses makes it easier if you have a plan. Imagine you don't have anything to compare with. How do you be like, Charlie, let's go with the flow sort of thing. And it's not beneficial to many people. And another thing is, when it comes to financial planning, again, use an example of you buying wachi, buying this, buying that. What happens in circumstances where there's an emergency? Let's say you have spent all your money.
Yeah.
You don't have any goals, Charlie.
Yeah.
What can come, can come. Let it come.
Exactly.
Let it come. And let's say, God forbid, or touch wood, you fall sick. You need to take some monies to take off your health. Maybe you have other things. Maybe, if, for example, you go to work one day and it rains, you've budgeted for Trotsky, and you go and there's an Uber that you have to pick. For those emergency moments, if you don't have some sort of plan in place, how then do you deal with them?
Charlie, so it'd be like you want to tell me that, I mean, if I don't plan, I slack.
Big time.
But if I plan, it's good for me because it helps me have some sort of cushion, and not only that, a way to meet the goals that I have set ahead of me. Yeah. And I mean, as time goes on, I will be able to achieve them. Like, say, I get some chick where I want some guy. Okay, so okay, so if you're a guy, you it's a chick. If it's a girl, let it be some guy. Where you want to surprise the person. So in that case, then it'd be like you put the money aside, and then when the time comes, okay, you show up.
You see, just on the back of that, I think we are just some few days away from Valentine's Day.
True that!
A few days from Valentine's Day.
And I've been seeing adverts by people saying that, Charlie, this Valentine's Day, make it not come anywhere near us.
I actually shared some tips on how you can enjoy most festive seasons. But for me, for example, you earn, let's say, maybe, for example, you're married. No. Okay, this time you're doing. So let's do, let's say, national service. Okay, so 559. 559. Unfortunately, most of the things in the economy or the prices are high.
Oh,
so let's say that you don't have any financial plan. So everything you spend. I mean, I know it's difficult, but at the same time, let's say you have a girlfriend or you have a boyfriend that you want to say, buy something worth, say, 200 cedis for example.
Out of 500, 600 cedis.
Exactly. So see the point. So imagine if you have to hit your 1 month income with that. Means you won't survive.
Okay.
But if, for example, you know that Valentine is coming, whatever happens to come.
14th February.
Exactly. So let me put aside, say, 30 cedis every single month, or 10 cedis, or 50 cedis.
30 cedis actually translates to 1 cedi a day.
Exactly. So if you started national service in somewhere August or September, and from September to February is like 4 or 5 months, you want to pay 200 cedis. So let's say I want to put aside 50 cedis every single month, or 40 cedis every single month.
40.
So once you get there, you don't have to hit your February salary with that. And that's all financial planning helps you to do. Help you plan in advance, being able to achieve the things you want to do. And it's even good for our mental health. Imagine on Valentine's Day, you pay, you're sitting in your own corner. You don't have the money to, and it happens. Growing up, sometimes if you see our parents and they don't have money, sometimes it's moody. They're a bit moody. Don't
cross them because what they'll tell you, you don't like.
Make sure you don't spoil anything in the house. And so I think if you're able to plan your money well, you're able to know that, okay, at this point in time, I have X amount here and there. Mentally, you're in a better space. So that's some of the benefits that it accrues to financial planning. Yes.
Right. Okay, so I think I am convinced. I don't know about you. Tell me whether you are convinced or not that you need to plan your life. So then let's go through a step-by-step process. How do we actually undertake that process where we are able to say, okay, so step 1, 2, 3, because I like to, so please help me in particular. If you are...
Okay, it's for the youth and everybody, so...
Yes, help us.
Okay, so remember in the conversation, I mentioned that financial planning basically is about where you are, where you want to get to, and how you plan on getting there.
Yeah.
So the whole process feeds into these 3 questions.
Yeah.
Where you are, where you want to get to, and how you're planning on getting there. So the very first step, where you are, it stems from, okay, the very first thing, have an honest self-assessment or self-reflection. Okay, for instance, Desmond, I'm doing my national service. I'm earning 559. Jacob, I'm first year after school. I'm in this employment. I'm having this amount of money. For example, I live here. I spend so much of money. So the very first thing is to have that conversation with yourself. Okay, this is where I am, and this is how I plan, or this is where I want to get to. But most often than not, if you don't have that kind of self-reflection, it's a very dangerous thing not to do.
Okay.
Because, for example, let's say you are on NSS salary, but your appetite is on someone who's been 10 years working, kind of thing. It's a really dangerous thing.
It
and
is.
Most people don't seem to cut their coat according to their cloth. And for us young people, sometimes social media, lifestyle inflation, it kind of puts pressure on us. But if you have that reflection, it becomes easier for you to know where you are and where you plan on getting to. Now, after that, the second thing you need to do is to define the goals. Remember where you want to get to. Okay, for instance, what do I actually want in this life? Do I want to own 5 houses? Do I want to retire at age 50? Do I want to own a car in the next 2 years? Do I even want to have maybe 5 CDs or 10 CDs in my investment account at the end of the month? So basically, defining your goals and objectives is super crucial because, again, like I mentioned, you have something you want to benchmark against. And the good thing is, if you can have, let's say, long-term plans. For example, I want to have a car in the next 3 years, or I want to own a house in the next 10 years. Then you break the goals down. Okay, 10-year goal, can I break it to 5-year goal, 3-year goal, 2-year goal? Then even daily and even monthly kind of goals. Now, once you have that, again, like I mentioned, it helps you stay on track. Because again, in my experience, if you give people like long-term plans, it becomes very difficult for them to be able to appreciate that. But if we break the goals down, say, okay, now this way you want to get to, these are the step-by-step approaches that you need to get there. It becomes an easy and fun conversation to have with the person. Like, okay, this month, just save 10 CDs.
Yeah.
Just save 50 CDs.
Yeah.
But if it's okay, this year, saving 10,000 CDs.
Hey, Charlie.
What am I getting into? But in setting your goals and objectives, the goals need to be what we call SMART. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound.
Yeah.
So SMART.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned, I want to have 10,000 CDs in my investment account. It's specific.
Yeah.
There's a time correlation to it.
Yeah.
Now, again, realistic, for example, you want to have 100,000 CDs in your account. Meanwhile, you're doing NSS 559. It is not realistic. So they go, yeah, happy, but this.
No, I mean we are smiling, but it's a very serious one.
Yeah. So the reality, when the reality sets in, you might lose hope or might lose focus. So it's important the goals are really realistic for where you are, and that's why the very first step of self-assessment is super crucial. So now we've done the self-assessment, we've done that. Now, how do you plan your money? Do I have to budget? So I earn, let's say, 100 CDs. Should I earn more money? Because 100 CDs is not enough to do my self-justice in a given month. Do I have to earn more money? do I have to cut my expenses? Because basically, in personal finances, you can do only two things to improve your life. Either you increase your revenue or income or money, or you reduce expenses.
That's all.
That's the only thing you can do.
Me too. You
can do.
No, but you see, you make a very important thing, because I remember when we were planning to, or when we were planning to build our first house. At that time, we used to, buy a lot of soft drinks.
Yeah.
And then we decided that because we were planning to build the house, we needed more funds. So we stopped buying the soft drinks and then started buying oranges. Then we'll squeeze it. And it was cheaper, and more healthy, actually.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. So I agree with you. So you assess where you want to go, and you either cut costs or increase your revenue. That's the only way. There's nothing else you could do. Or maybe unless somebody else dashes you some money. But that route usually is hard. Please.
Now the economy is hard though. No one is doing. At first, you can walk by the roadside and see this on the floor, but now you will see once.
Because I think before the thing falls down, crash, how they grab our already.
Yeah, so it's really crucial that you are able to actually plan your money. Okay, so this how much I can spend in a month. So for example, your budgeting process, let's say you want to spend, okay, again, I use 559 because we're making it more relatable. You have 559 to spend in a given month. In a week, let's say a 4-week period. Is that say 100 cedis per week? Per day, can I spend 20 cedis per day? So you broke down your budgeting into easy and much more assimilable kind of process. And the second thing is, in terms of your revenue, 559, maybe on a Saturday, Sunday, can you do something different? And now even we are in a digital world where there are a lot of Instagram shops. I have friends who are doing extra service, are doing something on the side. You understand? Influencer marketing. Can you do something different? Because all things being equal, if you have more money coming in, then you can have room to invest, to save, and all those things. And I mentioned that sometimes it's really difficult for people to actually save. I was talking to someone yesterday, and basically all the money she's earning is going back into the job she's working. Her transportation cost, her food expenditure. So it's okay, can you do something about it? So the kind of conversation you have yourself is super crucial in planning your money. So that's the third step. You have to plan your money.
Okay.
Now, the fourth thing you need to do is, okay, like I mentioned, it's a financial plan. Things do happen that changes the course of your life.
I tell you.
So can I have some personal risk management things in place? For example, and I can do that in 2 legs. Can I build an emergency fund? In that, when in the next 6 months, God forbid, again, touch wood, I lose my job, I have something to fall back on. If my business doesn't go on, can I have something I can fall back on? So building an emergency fund is super, super crucial in your financial planning. Because again, like I mentioned, things do happen. You understand?
Yeah.
Then the next level of the risk management tools, I call them, is insurance. Can you? Okay, let me take this from this angle. You see, when it comes to risk, even speaking is risk, even walking is risk, eating is risk. But
you mean say the whole life will be risk?
Risk permeates every facet of our life. Everything is risk present. So some of the risk you can accept it. Some you can say, I want to avoid this risk. Like you want to jaywalk, you can avoid it. But if you want for some risk, you can transfer the risk. And that's where insurance comes into play.
Okay.
So for example, can you insure your car such that if somebody hits it, you don't have to dip into your investments to take care of that? Again, even having the right insurance is critical. For example, many people in Ghana want third-party insurance, which repairs the other person's car. How about your car?
I tell you, it's been so useful to me. That's the comprehensive insurance.
Comprehensive insurance.
Because then if something happens,
you don't need to
you're
argument.
cool. I mean, you just
at that point you refresh a little bit, but at the same time you are like
somebody will take care of it because I have done that insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you don't do that, you'd have to dip into your finances. Another thing that many people don't consider in Ghana is maybe health insurance, maybe your educational policy for your kids, for instance. Another thing, funeral insurance, life assurance. You know, unfortunately in Ghana, funeral becomes a party.
But it is a, okay.
Celebration of life.
Thank you very much. It is a celebration of
But
life.
at the end of the day, many young people and many young people or families go through the stress of having to spend so much money in doing that. Can you transfer that risk to somebody such that at the demise of somebody, you don't have to dip into your finances? It's not popular in Ghana. Many people don't take life assurance, but it's something people should consider. Again, you are planning your life, you are planning your finances.
Yeah.
You are making sure that monies that you can avoid going out, you actually avoid that.
Okay, so then let's pause here because I know there are some more. So we've looked at four.
Yes.
We looked at 4 ways. We've looked at
self-reflection.
Yeah.
Then setting your goals.
Yeah.
We've looked at planning your money through budgeting or earning more.
Yes.
Then we've looked at having risk management resources or tools
in place. So we are managing our risk at this moment, and we are going for a short game changer break. When we return, we'll continue this very exciting talk about financial planning, Sika. Let's go. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please.
Today's game changer is for the creators. And make no mistake, you are a creator. Whether you blog, podcast, make music, make YouTube videos, or anything else, you count. But creating content isn't easy on the best of days, and doing it consistently is even harder. So today's game changer is simply a reminder to keep going and keep creating. Why? Let's ask Mariah Carey. Mariah recorded the album Merry Christmas in 1994. And while the album wasn't a world beater, one song on it stood the test of time. Yep, I'm talking about All I Want for Christmas Is You. Mariah wrote the holiday bop in just 15 minutes, and initially she didn't think much of it, but the world had other ideas. This week, our game changer is dividends. Despite being written over 2 decades ago, All I Want for Christmas pays Mariah Carey till this day. By 2000, its highest chart position was 84th, but due to internet streaming, the song has hit new heights in recent years. The song was streamed over 12 million times on Christmas Day in 2020, causing it to finally hit number 1 on the Billboard charts 25 years after its release. Oh, and by the way, the song has paid Mariah over $60 million in royalties. So here's the point. Keep creating, because you never know which of your creations will finally break through. And don't forget, all it takes is one. You know how our parents always warn us that the internet is forever? That applies to good things too. Your creations can pay dividends for years, whether financially, by creating professional opportunities, or in a million other ways. So stay consistent, keep creating, and wait for the breakthrough. This has been The Game Changer with Jojo Okran. Have a phenomenal week.
Welcome back. And it's great to have you back on the Springboard Hangout. Today we are hanging out with Desmond Bredu. He is the head of client services at Stanley Investments. And we are talking about financial planning. And we've looked at what is financial planning, looking at the what, the how, and the why. We've also looked at coming to your own self, why it is important, the benefits of financial planning, and why if you fail to plan your finances, you are heading to a very deep chasm. We then went down the plan to see what are the steps when we want to plan our finances, and we realized that you must have a realistic look at you cry, where you be, where you day, and if once you know that, then you decide that, okay, if this is where I am, whether you're a national service person or you've been in business or you've been in the workspace for about the past 10 years, where are you? What are some of your finances? What are some of your expenditure? What are the ones that you need to do? I mean, you have to do, because shall I for food, you for chop. Going to work to you for go, those kind of things you can't do without. But there are some of the things that you can do without, like my friend coming and saying that, Charlie, I hear say this guy there for time, make we go right now. You haven't planned for it. So you can say that, oh no. And deciding that what you have planned for, like you want to say that you want to buy your first car, whether it's a Matisse or whatever. For instance, when Albert and I got married, we said we wanted to buy our first car, and that was very, very helpful for us. So when we were planning for our first car, we said, okay, everything that we're going to get was going towards the first car. And true to form, the dates that we said we would have it, we had it because we had planned for it.
Absolutely.
So as for me, I believe in financial planning. Okay, so before we went on the break, we were talking about risk, how we can manage the risk regarding our financial planning. And one of the things that Desmond said was actually insurance. We need to add insurance to all the financial planning that we've done, because there's nothing more painful than you have taken your time, you've saved, you've invested, and then because part of our planning didn't take any risk into consideration, we are hit with a risk, like let's say we have to go and do some surgery to maybe our eye. We can't work with our eye, or we had to do somebody passed away in our family and the person was very close. So you need to put some investment in that. So we need to plan, having in mind the ways that we can mitigate that risk by putting in some insurance in our planning. So he's the one supposed to be talking. I've talked too much. But anyway, I'd like to welcome Ivy. Ivy, thank you for watching with us today. And Zoe, you did from Pam. Mark Bills, you did for the thing for. Thank you. Beatrice, thank you so much. Jessica, thanks, you are here. And Johnson, Jordan Noe, you're also watching. And do ask if you have any questions for Desmond. Can you post it there, and I will ask it as we go along. So yes, Desmond, we were on the we had 4
more to go.
4 more to go. Oh, then that'll make it flow.
So I mean, just a recap. We've spoken about the self-reflection. We've spoken about setting your goals. We've spoken about planning your money, and we've spoken about the risk management bit as well. Then the next thing is, sometimes in life, we don't have all the resources to do the things we want to do. So we may want to take some borrowings or loans on board. It's important that in your financial planning, you manage that as well. Which of my loans, because sometimes, in growing up, my parents always say that, like, that's our mentality. But borrowing or debt in itself is not a bad thing. It's what we do with it. So there are people who have built businesses on debt and they've paid off. There are people who have gone into serious bankruptcy. So it's about managing your debt. For example, if you want to get married and you go and take some huge loan for that fancy wedding, you are setting off on the wrong foot.
I tell you. When they come knocking on your door with your new bride or your new husband.
Exactly. Or maybe the latest iPhone 14 Pro Max, whatever it is in town. Charlie, my friend, give me this thing, and you go and do it. Do you know, I have friends who actually borrow to bet.
Borrow to bet?
Because they have a thing that, okay, as for this one, I'll chop the white man. That's what they mean. Like, I'll win against Benjamin Whiteman. That's the term to call it. And most often than not, they lose. So now you're owing the person you want to borrow from. Sometimes you mar the relationship. So it's important that in your financial planning, you learn how to manage your borrowings. Can you take some unavoidable loans? And how do I plan on paying for it? In certain countries, you can't live without debt. They need to have, let's say, a credit score, a credit history of you. Unfortunately, in Ghana, we don't have this kind of mechanic. But one day, we'll get there, I believe. We'll get there.
Personally, I don't like it. That's me personally.
Yeah, but for example, if you look at current, let's say, housing prices, for instance, how many people can afford to buy a house at this moment? If we have cheaper mortgages, people can actually afford to own homes. So it's not a bad debt to have.
It's not a bad debt, but it's when you take the loan that is for
like
really
social events or for perishable goods. Or, I mean, it's not the best thing.
Yeah.
And I used this example a few weeks ago. Even people taking loans for businesses. you might think it's the best thing for the business, but it could actually be killing your business. So sometimes in a small communities, you see people going around, oh, take this money and pay this amount of money per week, for instance. You may think you're helping your business, and loans are good for businesses, but actually you may be killing your business. So that's why financial literacy, it's super important. Which of the loans should I take, for instance?
Yeah.
You understand? So in managing your money, your finances, what loans do I have? Who do I owe? Can I plan on paying them early so that by age 40 or 50 I don't have any more outstanding loans? So it's important you incorporate that in your financial planning as well. But all I've mentioned, it's important you have somebody you are doing this with.
And I would like to encourage you, don't forget that on Sunday, Springboard Virtual University will be coming your way, where you matriculate and graduate in an hour. And in that program, we're talking about Rosie Ebe Arthur. We're talking about HR in the present world, where we'll see how HR has moved and what we can do in our various organizations to make HR work. It will be online at 7 p.m. and then on Monday at Joy Prime at 5 p.m. This program would also be repeated on ETV on Sunday at 5 p.m. So go and take another look. And I love you all. Thank you for being with us today, because today was a great one. And we definitely will be coming your way again next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Sure. There you are. You are the best thing that ever happened to planet Earth. And we'll be expecting you next week. Don't go anywhere. You are the best. Bye.
He's always turning around. Whoa, turn around. Turning point, yeah. He's always turning around. For so long